I, 27 years old female, have a group of female friends, 8 of us. We have been friends for over a decade, since school. Now we don't live in the same place. We meet up a couple of times a year for a weekend in an Airbnb. This used to be a weekend of good food, drinks, hot tub, etc. I am content with my life at the moment. I am single, dating, and I don't know if I would like children. But in the event I did, I know I wouldn't want one soon. Around 5 of my friends are either married or in very long-term relationships. Of these 5, 2 either have a baby or are pregnant. I will be seeing all of my friends this year for various wedding/friend/baby events. I have been invited on this year's girls' trip. I have said I can't come. I didn't originally provide a reason. When queried in person by my pregnant friend, I told her the truth. I am not going because it's a massive financial expense for 3 days where we only talk about people's upcoming engagements/weddings/babies. I have a lot going on, but I feel a lot of my friends do not show an interest unless I talk about someone I'm dating. I also last time listened to one of my friends talk about her breastfeeding plans, with vengeance, for over an hour. She is not pregnant or trying. Truthfully, it's boring and it feels dismissive. It's also a really expensive way to feel bad about myself. I made it clear when telling my friend this, that I am thrilled for them all living the lives they want. But maybe it's not the weekend for me at the moment, meaning it feels like the group has 2 distinct life stages. I'm in the minority, and it focuses on one stage. My friend has since told me she's really hurt. I am not excited for her, or our other friends. I responded, saying I evidently was from other actions, but I just didn't think the trip was for me. I do have numerous other things on, and to fit this in both on the calendar and financially is a struggle. I just want to add for this friend specifically, I have gone on 3 weekends away for her wedding, and I am flying to go to her baby shower, all in the last 2 years. I have not asked her, nor has she wanted to fly to see me for anything in the last 2 years. So my query is, am I the jerk for being truthful with the reason why I can't go? Update, thank you all for your responses and comments. Just a few things to note in response to some of the general themes of the response. 1. I do show an interest in their weddings, engagements, babies, and baby plans. I am excited for them. I text about it. I ask for updates. I go to and help plan events for these things. My issue is, 3 days of talking about this like it's the only topic of substance is not fun, especially when I don't feel an interest is reciprocated to me on my life. 2. I have spoken to one of my other friends invited on the trip, who is also not at the baby stage of life. She is also not going on the trip, and said she is not attending for the same reason. 3. The friend I expressed this to has apologized for her initial reaction and is still trying to convince me to come. I'm not going to go, but I am hoping she at least considers what I have shared. 4. I do have other friends, in the city I live in, and they are a joy to be in the company of. Maybe this is because we became friends as adults and have more similar lifestyles. Who knows? Finally, some comments about me being jealous, hating myself, my life, etc. To confirm, dear strangers on the internet, I am content. Thank you for the concern, though. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. We all change as we get older. You naturally drift apart from some friends, especially if their lifestyle changes dramatically. Think married with children, in particular. I wouldn't want to spend a lot of money to spend 3 days with a group that had such dissimilar interests, and I don't think it was wrong to be truthful when your friend asked you why you wouldn't go. Comment 2. Not the idiot, and what you are experiencing at 27 is what a lot of the rest of us have also experienced. Lives change, and all of a sudden, some of our friends don't have much in common with us anymore. I've casually drifted from friends because all they could talk about was diapers or insist on bringing their kid to an outing. That's just not my thing. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for reading my last post and for all your thoughtful responses. It's been pretty up and down couple of weeks since I last updated you all. First off, my pregnant friend reached out to me again, apologizing for her initial reaction and trying to convince me to come on the trip. I appreciated her apology, but I still decided not to go. It just didn't feel right for me at this point in my life. However, something unexpected happened a few days later. I received a letter from my friend who is also not attending the trip. In the letter, she revealed that she had been struggling with infertility for the past year and a half. She and her husband had been trying to conceive, but with no success. She confided in me that being around our pregnant friends and constantly talking about babies was just too painful for her right now. Reading her letter, I was shocked and heartbroken. I had no idea she was going through this difficult journey. It made me realize that everyone has their own struggles and reasons for making certain choices. I felt guilty for not being more understanding and supportive. I reached out to her immediately, offering my love and support. We had a long, emotional phone call where she opened up about her experiences with IVF treatments and the toll it had taken on her mental health. I listened, cried with her, and assured her that I would be there for her in any way she needed. This revelation also made me reflect on my own life and choices. I started questioning whether I was truly content being single and unsure about having children. Deep down, I realized that I did want to find a partner to share my life with, but I had been suppressing those feelings out of fear of vulnerability. I decided to be more open to the idea of a serious relationship and started putting myself out there more. I went on a few dates with a guy I had met through a mutual friend. He was kind, funny, and we had great chemistry. But after a few weeks of dating, he suddenly became distant and eventually ghosted me. I was hurt and confused, wondering what I had done wrong. Around the same time, I received some exciting news at work. I had been offered a promotion, but it would require me to relocate to another city. It was a fantastic opportunity for my career, but it would mean leaving behind my friends and the life I had built here. I struggled with the decision, torn between my professional ambitions and my personal relationships. I sought advice from my friends and family, but ultimately I knew I had to make the choice that was right for me. In the end, I decided to accept the promotion and move to the new city. It was a bittersweet moment, saying goodbye to my friends and the familiarity of my current life, but I knew that growth often requires change and stepping out of our comfort zones. As I packed up my apartment and prepared for the move, I couldn't help but reflect on how much had happened in such a short time. My friend's secret struggle with infertility, my own realizations about my desires for a relationship, and now this new chapter in my career. Life has a way of throwing curveballs at us, forcing us to confront our fears, insecurities, and deepest desires. But through it all, I've learned the importance of being true to myself, supporting my friends through their own journeys, and embracing change as an opportunity for growth. So, as I embark on this new adventure, I do so with a mix of excitement and nervousness. But I know that whatever challenges come my way, I have the strength and resilience to face them head on. Thank you all for being a part of my journey and for your continued support. I'll keep you updated on how things unfold in my new city. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Am I the idiot for refusing to let my brother-in-law and his girlfriend stay with us while they save money for their baby? Hi all, throwaway account. My partners, we'll call him Jim, brother Jack and girlfriend Jane recently found out they were pregnant. Both 23 years old but have only been together for 4 months. Both live at home with their parents, both single parents. He works full-time as a second-year apprentice and she works part-time while doing college. They are both scared and excited but seem a bit naive about the reality of raising a baby. They don't have a plan about how they would cope or their living arrangements, etc. Jim and I are older, 37, and are comfortably set up, no children. However, I've made it clear I don't want them to rely on us for somewhere to live or money. They have to manage this situation themselves. Jim and I agreed on this, expecting some kind of request for help. As expected, the first request came asking if they could stay with us until they can get some money together after the baby is born. We said no. They complained and said we have spare rooms and they will contribute. Our concerns are, 1. This will become a financial burden on us and we will end up paying for many of their expenses. 2. I don't know Jane, I've met her 3 times, and I don't know how she would be to live with. 3. I work from home 3 days a week and need some quiet. That's going to be hard with a baby around. 4. I know her family and friends are all close and spend a lot of time together. I don't want my house to be a hangout spot for people I don't know. 5. They did not give a time frame. There has been no planning here, so I have no idea how long they would even stay, or if they would stick to a plan anyway. 6. They also couldn't confirm their plan after they get money together. No idea about the area they would live in, the cost of rent and utilities, etc. We know that they are welcome at Jack's mother's house. They will just have to make do with one room for the three of them. Jack's mother also gets heavily subsidized utilities, so it will have a minimal impact on them from a financial perspective. Ever since we said no, their family has been hounding us and acting like we are abandoning them. They are not out on the street. They are just going to be in a tight space and inconvenienced for a while. I'm pretty firm on this stance. They are not entitled to our space or resources and made a choice to have a baby, but made no independent plans on how to manage it. Would be interested to hear other people's views on this. Am I the idiot, or are they being entitled? Update, so I'm getting a very strong vote of not the idiot, and top themes are, I'll never get them out, they will stay on as tenants, and I'll become a babysitter. All valid points, and I'm in complete agreement with all of it. One other point many have made is why don't the family members take them in? To be fair, they will always help where they can, but none are in a position to put people up, no space, live in other states, etc. They don't, however, have the right to chastise us, and this has now been made crystal clear. We are open to helping out in some other ways. We would be happy to give them a bond for a rental, provide some appliances or furniture they may need. This would have been something we would have done if they were moving without a baby involved. That will still be an offer on the table if they accept what we've said. If they push or get anyone else involved, we will be doing nothing. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. You're right, they aren't entitled to your house. They chose to keep the baby knowing they can't afford it. How exactly do they expect to get more money after the kid is born? That's so illogical and irresponsible. They have a place to stay, even if it's only one room. And it's recommended parents have their baby's crib in their room, so I'm not seeing the problem here. At least until the kid is, 2. They don't have a plan. They just have blind hope that things will work out. Comment 2, do not do this. First of all, not the idiot. Secondly, my uncle is currently living what could be your future if you let this happen. My uncle has 4 children. The youngest 2 still live with him. The oldest just got his girlfriend pregnant and they now live back home. 5 adults, 1 baby, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. All because they couldn't put on their adult pants and figure out their situation. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for reading my previous post and for all your support. It's been a hectic 2 weeks since I last updated you on the situation with Jim's brother Jack, his girlfriend Jane, and their unexpected pregnancy. First off, let me tell you about the news that dropped just a few days after my last post. Turns out Jane's been keeping a pretty big secret from everyone. She confided in me that this isn't her first pregnancy. Apparently, she had a baby when she was just 16, but her parents forced her to give it up for adoption. She's been carrying this emotional baggage for years, and it's clear that it's influencing her decision to keep this baby at all costs. This revelation shed some light on why Jane's been so adamant about moving in with us. She's desperate to prove that she can be a good mother this time around. I feel for her, I really do. But it doesn't change the fact that Jim and I are not in a position to take them in. Meanwhile, Jack's been scrambling to find a better-paying job to support his growing family. He managed to land a gig at a construction site, but here's the kicker. He got fired after just 3 days. Apparently, he got into a heated argument with the foreman over safety protocols. Jack's always been a bit of a hothead, but I never thought it would cost him a job. This whole ordeal has put a serious strain on Jack and Jane's relationship. They've been arguing constantly, and it all came to a head last week when Jane threatened to move back in with her parents. I guess the reality of their situation is finally sinking in. In the midst of all this chaos, Jim's been feeling torn between his loyalty to his brother and his commitment to the boundaries we've set as a couple. I can see it wearing on him, and I'm worried that he might cave under the pressure. Just yesterday, Jack showed up at our doorstep unannounced, pleading with Jim to let them stay with us, even if it's just for a few weeks. I could see the conflict in Jim's eyes, but to my relief, he stood his ground. He offered to help them find an affordable apartment and even pitched in some money for the deposit, but he made it clear that moving in with us was not an option. I know this is far from over, but I'm proud of Jim for sticking to our decision. It's not easy to say no to family, especially when they're in a tough spot, but we have to prioritize our own well-being and our relationship. As for Jack and Jane, I really hope they can find a way to make this work. I know they're young and unprepared, but I also know that they have a lot of love to give. I just hope they can learn to communicate better and make some smart decisions for the sake of their baby. Anyway, that's where things stand now. It's been pretty tough of emotions, and I have a feeling there are more twists and turns ahead. But for now, Jim and I are holding steady and focusing on our own lives. Thanks for letting me vent, everyone. It helps to know that there are people out there who understand what we're going through. Am I the idiot for telling my mother-in-law she's not welcome after she undermined my parenting? My 33-year-old female mother-in-law, 67-year-old female, lives in another country with her husband. We never got along because she always insists on being the one to make the rules and is overall very controlling. She also disliked me from the start for merely existing. We don't see her very often, thankfully, but whenever we do, it's always pretty stressful. She is visiting now and staying with us. It's been a week. Normally, my husband deals with her behavior, but he's currently traveling for work and won't be back until tonight. Since my husband left, she's been horrible. It's like she's trying to get on my nerves on purpose. I try to keep calm because I know she'll leave in 2 weeks and I won't see her for months again. However, there's been an incident that my husband and I are now fighting about. My toddler brought a large toy truck to the table. I reminded him, no toys when we're eating. Please put it back in the toy box and you can play with it when you're done eating. My toddler was compliant, but as he was getting off the chair, my mother-in-law said, "It's okay, honey. Grandma allows it. Your mommy is no fun, isn't she?" This is not an isolated incident. She's been trying to undermine my parenting ever since my husband left for work, trying to let the kids eat sweets instead of dinner, telling them they can do things I just told them they were not allowed, and so on. I could not take it anymore and said, "Let's not forget Grandma is but a guest here. Guests don't make the rules, do they? I'm sure Grandma knows who this apartment belongs to. And hotels are so expensive in this area." I admit my tone was mocking, and I was referring to the fact that I alone own our home. I inherited it from Grandpa. She was red and called me disrespectful, but did not escalate it any further. The same evening, my husband is calling me furious, asking how dare I tell his mother she's not welcome here. I told him the full story, and he was still pissed, claiming I should have handled it better and kept peace. He said he can't even leave for a few days without us getting in a fight in front of the kids. I told him, "Why don't you say that to your mother?" I also told him this is the last time I'm allowing her to stay over. She can live in a hotel, or not come at all for all I care if she has to act like this. I refuse to feel so uncomfortable in my own home. I also told him I'm going to my parents' lake house this weekend because the weather is so nice and I want to relax. However, my mother-in-law is not welcome to join. He has 3 options: go with us, try to convince the kids to stay home with him and my mother-in-law so that I could go alone, or I go with the kids, and he stays with my mother-in-law. He told me it's very rude not to invite my mother-in-law. She would love to go to the lake. I said maybe, but she's the one I need a break from. He called me a petty jerk. I sure am petty, but I don't think I'm the jerk here. Never in my life have I started an argument with my mother-in-law first. But just in case, am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. It's so unfortunate when mother-in-laws try to be matriarchs. She's alienating herself and ruining her relationship with the grandchildren. Kids aren't stupid. They understand the condescension and will always be on Team Mom. Kids thrive on rules. She's an AH, a hole, not you. And your husband needs to grow a spine. Comment 2, not the idiot, not the a-hole. Tell husband that no matter what he thinks of you, at least you don't go into other people's homes, disrespect them, and try to undermine their parenting. If he agrees with mother-in-law, then he can go back with her. Otherwise, if he stays, you deserve an apology from him. Now for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for reading my previous post. It's been a hectic 2 weeks since then, and I've got some updates to share. After that heated conversation with my husband, things were pretty tense around the house. My mother-in-law kept trying to undermine my parenting, and I was at my wit's end. I decided to stick to my guns and go to the lake house with the kids, leaving my husband to deal with his mother. The weekend at the lake was exactly what I needed. The kids had a blast swimming and playing outside, and I finally got some peace and quiet. But when we got back, I found out that my husband had been talking to his mom about our fight, and she was furious with me. She cornered me in the kitchen and started yelling at me, saying I was disrespectful and ungrateful for all the help she's given us over the years. I tried to stay calm and explain my side of things, but she wasn't having it. She even threatened to cut us off financially if I didn't apologize and let her stay with us whenever she wanted. I was shocked. I had no idea she had been helping us out financially, and my husband had never mentioned it. When I confronted him about it, he admitted that she had been giving us money every month to help with the mortgage and bills. I was livid. I told him that I didn't want her money, and that we needed to stand on our own 2 feet. But then he dropped a news on me. He said that he had lost his job a few months ago and had been too ashamed to tell me. He had been using his mother's money to keep us afloat. And now that I had pissed her off, we were in real trouble. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I felt like my whole world was crumbling around me, but I knew I had to stay strong for my kids. I told my husband that we would figure it out together, but that his mother couldn't stay with us anymore. It was a risk, but I knew it was the right thing to do. The next few days were tough. My mother-in-law packed her bags and left in a huff, and my husband and I had some long, hard conversations about our finances and our future. But in the end, we came up with a plan. I started looking for a job, and my husband reached out to some old contacts to see if they had any leads. It wasn't easy, but we managed to scrape by. And then, a miracle happened. My husband got a call from an old friend who owned a successful tech startup. They were looking for someone with my husband's skills, and they offered him a job on the spot. It was a risk, but he took it. Fast forward to today, and things are looking up. My husband is thriving in his new job, and I've found a part-time gig that allows me to be home with the kids. We're not out of the woods yet, but we're getting there. Looking back, I realized that my mother-in-law's behavior had been a symptom of a deeper problem in our family. My husband had been hiding his struggles from me, and his mother had been enabling him. It took a crisis to bring everything to the surface, but in the end, it was a blessing in disguise. I know that not everyone has a happy ending like ours, but I hope that by sharing my story, I can give someone else the courage to stand up for themselves and their family, even when it feels like the odds are stacked against them. Thanks for reading, and take care. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.